Well. I'm sorry for a lot of you guys out there. Why am I sorry? Well, because it's that time of the week again. Unfortunately, it is Thursday night for many of out there, so you guys are gonna have to suffer through one more PK good old rant. Got a little bit of news to tell you guys all. Yes, definitely gonna be filing for bankruptcy pretty soon. Definitely the demise of old PK as you know it is definitely in the future. But first off, before I do file for bankruptcy, before I do talk about my very, very soon eventual demise, which is not a question of it's just become a unfortunate certainty in this hobby right now, is next week. So 1 week from today, I will be at old Charlotte Collecticon. Yes, you did hear that correctly. I will be at Charlotte Collecticon 1 week from today. So you guys know one thing, I always do my Thursday night lives. Well, guess what? The Thursday night live is still going to happen next week, no matter what. That means it's going to have to be a live Thursday night live from Charlotte Collecticon. So, there'll be definitely, I could only imagine it's going to be streamed off of my phone. It's probably going to be in a hotel room. There's probably going to be a lot of people there, a lot of familiar names. There will probably be some adult beverages being consumed, and I'm I don't know what to rate that. It's definitely going to be above PG-13. It's definitely going to be a R-rated live. Is it going to be NC-17? Is that still a thing? I remember that from like growing up. Maybe it'll be NC-17, 17 and older. Just going to caution you guys all now that next week live will be live on location. Is it going to be a 5-minute live, or is it going to be a 1-minute live, or do I just put my phone on go live and I just walk away from it and I let all the degens that are going to probably be hanging out on Thursday night before Friday, because you got to keep in mind the degens that are going to be on Thursday are some real degens. So do I just leave them with my phone and say, all right, see you later, I'll be back in an hour, and just let other people? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Something crazy is going to happen. Look at that. We got Mr. Son of Mewtwo hopping in to start off the PK live, gifting 20 memberships. Dude, Son of Mewtwo, can't thank you enough. You've been one of the OGs of the channel for far, far too long. Katie Lowen says, do Thursday Night Live from the hotel's hot tub. Katie, I would not rule out my first ever hot tub stream. It will be fun, though. It'll be a fun live. I don't know what's going to happen. It'll be wild. All right. That's that. I'm going to the topic of this video. Also documenting my first stroke ever right there. Documenting my first, or, oh my god, I can't talk. Should I just end the live right here? Documenting my future bankruptcy and demise from Pokemon Investing. I'm just going to let you guys know right now my goal. Oh my goodness. We got Tap. Also gifting 20 PK memberships. Tap. I appreciate it, buddy. There may or may not be a Tap in Charlotte Collecticon. Tap. I don't think we'll be able to get Tap on camera, unfortunately. But at least if we could have good old Tap be in the same room and we'll have them talk, I think that would be a good one. I appreciate though, Tap. But I tell you right now, future bankruptcy. I keep talking about this on all my lives. When it comes to Pokemon right now, I'm just kind of all in. You guys are any guys? I was gonna ask a stupid question. I was literally gonna say, are any of you guys out there gamblers? Who do I think I'm talking to? I already know the answer to that. All you guys are just degens. So you guys will all understand this. Right now, I'm playing Texas Hold'em. I'm all in before the flop. I'm holding pocket aces. I just flip my cards over, and I'm just letting anybody at the table call. I don't even think it's a bluff at this point. I just think I got pocket aces pre-flop, and I'm just all in. Listen, somebody could call me with 7-2 offsuit, and the flop comes out 7-7-7, and I'm just fucking smoked. And then the turn comes out a 6, and the river is a 9, and I'm just smoked. And I had pocket aces going in. But old 7-2 somehow beat me because some other degen at the table called me, and they flipped 4 7s after the flop. That could be what happened, but I'm just letting you guys know right now. I struggle more and more every day. I'm looking at all the news right now. The mega set, I don't know if you guys have been watching every live. How many lives have I come on and just talk about the mega set? And how many times in a row did I say, I just want everyone to know that the Mega Evolution set is going to be the worst of all the mega sets. Again, not a bad set inherently. It's just going to be the worst of the mega sets. And then literally verbatim, the words that would come out of my mouth after that is there's going to be a Charizard and a Gengar mega card coming out. I thought there might be two different mega sets. Pokemon said, PK, you think that the mega sets are going to be two different sets? You think we're going to give you a Charizard and a Gengar in separate sets? No. We're going to give you both these cards in the same set. What do you think that's going to be? You think that's going to be a bad set? You think that set is going to be what kills Pokemon? I watch Destined Rivals still to this day. Booster, have you seen Destined Rivals booster boxes? Keep just ticking on and up. They just don't fucking stop. They keep going up. Destined Rivals is the best performing modern set in the history of this hobby. Hands down, it's without a doubt the best. I don't want to let you in on something about Destined Rivals. It's a deep set. You got the old Cynthia's Chompy Boy, the Cynthia's Garchomp. You got the Ethan with the Ho-Ho Merry Christmas. That's a solid card. Obviously, you got some Rockets Pokemon. You got the Rockets Moltres. You got the Rockets Mewtwo in there. But then you got like a Yan Mega in there. Yan Mega's nothing really to write home about. Destined Rivals, for all that it is, while it still missed the mark. Yeah. It didn't have dark Pokemon in it. Pokemon could have went really, really dark. Instead, Pokemon did what they normally do, which is fine. They took two Japanese sets, Heatwave Arena, which is a good guy set. Obviously, just mentioned, got the Ethan in there. So you got a good guy set, and then you got a bad guy set with Glory the Team Rocket, which has the best name. And then they gave it Destined Rivals. It's still a Team Rocket set, but it's not super, super overly dark, which a lot of us were hoping for. Destined Rivals, while it's still the best set, it still missed the mark a little bit. There are some cards that Pokemon could have done, and it could have broke the hobby. There is no dark Charizard in Destined Rivals. There is no dark Blastoise. There is no dark Dragonite. Does that all make sense? This is not me shitting on Destined Rivals. I'm just letting you know that the best performing booster box in the history of this hobby, the best performing modern booster box in the history of this hobby, missed its mark. Okay? Pokemon has so much runway that they could do. Pokemon's ability to make game ending, everything goes crazy to the end of the world and the hobby can never recover. Their ability to do that is... you can't even quantify it. Like, they have so much ability. I feel like Pokemon is riding a horse right now, and they're just constantly pulling back the reins, which a lot of people think that's a bad thing. This is not me saying this is a bad thing. I'm just telling you, Pokemon has unlimited room to run. So it brings me to the title of this video, documenting my future bankruptcy and demise of Pokemon. I'm just letting you guys know, I'm just all in. Everything seems like a good buy. Things that are... Now, everything's a good buy. You know what else? Everything right now is a good sell. Everything. I tell this to people all the time. There's not a single person. Think about this. There's not a single person in the history of this hobby who ever went broke taking profits. That's the thing. You could always take profits. You should always be buying. You should always be selling. The market is undervalued in a lot of spots. People are going to go, the market's not above enough. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. I made the video a couple weeks ago talking about Fusion Strike loose packs, and then literally a week later they were up 20, or a month later, whatever, a month, I don't know, I'm losing track of time. It's hard to keep track. This hobby's moving so fast, but whatever, a week or a month later they're up 27%. There's spots. I'm not gonna spoon feed all this stuff, but even the same card you could buy and now just sit on stuff and it goes up. You know, one of my favorite things to do is just steal other people's content. So shout out to Mr. Old Jimbo out there, Mr. Jim from Old Z&G Emporium. Do you see this? Let me move my big... Oh, no. Let me move my big dumb head. Can you see right there? Do you see what that says? 154 days later. This should be... Oh, if only it was 28 days later. Oh, man, we missed We missed a golden opportunity right there. If only it was 28 days later, then it would be more of a horror movie. But either way, 154 days later, 10K profit. Do you see anything special about that card? Are you like, oh, what's special about this gold star versus the other gold star? There's fucking nothing different. It's the same cert number. It's the same card. There's nothing different about this card. It's the same cert number. It's just what happened. The hobby is just doing hobby things. You know, people always talk about the debate of, and you know what? I was going to say people talk about the debate of modern versus vintage. That debate's kind of really, I don't think that debate happens anymore. Miss those debates. Don't think those debates really exist per se anymore, but it doesn't matter. You know why? At the end of the day, everybody fucking wins. The vintage guy wins. The modern guy wins. We booming? We booming. Now, this is all Z and G. There is a reason why I could pull this up, because this is confirmed paid. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep taking old Jimbo stuff. Alt-Art soaring. Again, these babies are hitting all-time highs. Jolteon VMAX. Do I have a Jolteon box right up there? No, I think I got this stupid Vaporeon box. Do I have one? Ah. Damn it. I do not have a Jolteon box close by. We got the old Vaporeon box. If you guys would like to buy this box, you could find it on Fanatics live stream. I will auction that box off for you guys if you guys want to hop in. Yeah, that's my shameless shill. There's a link in the description of every video. Alt-Art Soren. What is this going on right now? Dragonite V from Evolving Skies. 760. Do you remember when you would open up Evolving Skies and you would pull the Dragonite V and you'd be like, man, this card's undervalued for how expensive the set was? And that was when the packs were $12 a piece. $12 packs of Evolving Skies. I remember pulling the Dragonite V and being like, ah, shucks. Shucks. Do people use that word shucks anymore? I feel like people don't even use the word shucks anymore. Dang it. No, I don't think people say dang anymore. People just are degens. They all just got dirty miles. Either way, Dragonite V. Obviously, the Lugia, the big boy from Silver Tempest. Jolteon V from the Jolteon Premium Collection. This is a promo. This is a mass-produced promo. Yeah, they were tough to grade, but they weren't impossible. Hell, you know how many of these Jolteon Vs we have sold just on the Fanatics Live platform? A bunch of them. I don't even remember. I think when we started stream, I think I had like 9 or 10 of them in different grades. Definitely a couple Jolteon Vs. Vintage. Vintage is doing vintage things. Listen, there's a Pokemon right there on the screen from old Diamond and Pearl 7 right there. DP7, aka Stormfront. So you got Diamond Pearl base is Diamond Pearl 1, and then Stormfront is DP7, the last of the Diamond Pearl sets. There are 7 different Diamond Pearl sets, but Raichu, the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be when it comes to Pokemon. PSA 10, Kraken, 5200, old Pikachu from the Rumble set. 9,950. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Pikachu is easy to grade. It's not. Call of Legends. Look at this. Call of Legends, none of these easy to grade, but we're cheap for a long time. Vintage and modern. Doesn't matter if you... Look at this. Speaking of modern. Armored Mewtwo. Remember these tins? These tins were never cheap. Alright, a lot of people will lie to you in this hobby. They'll say everything crashed. Shining Legends, I will tell you right now. Shining Legends was very cheap for a while. These fall collector chests. This Armored Mewtwo was never cheap. So, don't let anybody ever tell you. They were never really cheap. Now, you didn't have to pay an armor leg, but these never dropped. They were never, you can never like pick Armored Mewtwo, like the collector chest. They were like tins. You can never pick these up cheap. So, this card was always in demand, but $6,500? No. We booming. This is a Mewtwo Hollow. This is a Gold Star. This is a gift box one. You got the Pikachu as like the lunchbox promo one. I call the Japanese Pikachu Gold Star. It's the same thing. You got the Mewtwo was the gift box, and then the Pikachu Gold Star was from like the lunchbox or whatever. And then you got, yeah, obviously Mewtwo Hollow from Expedition. The old Ray. The Ray Gold Star. $9,000. It might be like $9,000 isn't a lot. It's a freaking 6. It's a 6. All right, hot take. SPN Gold Star in a 9. Might be undervalued at 11 G's. What's going on? And that's a record. That's a record. Do you know why that might be undervalued? Because have you seen a Pop Series 5 pack? Remember when you could pick up Pop Series 5 packs all day for 200, and then you could pick them up all day for 300, then you could pick them up all day for 400, and then even in the booms, 2020, 2021, you could pick up Pop Series 5 packs all day at $500. Don't even do it to yourself. Don't even go look at what a Pop Series 5 pack costs right now, because you'll be like, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, they're that expensive. They're over $1,000 a piece. And I don't even know when that price gapped up. I can't keep up with every single thing in the market. I have no clue when Pop Series 5 packs gapped up the way they did. But they did. And I went, because I was going to pick up some. I was like, oh, you know what? This would be a cool, like, big chase. Maybe do this for, like, a cool stream or whatever. And I'm like, wait, where are all the cheap Pop Series? I'm like, oh, I've missed that boat. So even Pop Series 5 packs gapped up. So you got an Espeon. So if you guys don't know, there's 17 cards in Pop Series 5, obviously. 17 out of 17 is Umbreon. 16 out of 17 is the old Espeon. There are 2 Gold Stars. The reason why these Gold Stars are popular from Pop Series 5 is because they're non-holo. You can't weigh. All cards in Pop Series 5 are non-holos. So, and the pull rate, again, this is all pull rates that I've heard anecdotally. Trust me, I'm not the one out there with a spreadsheet figuring out 1 out of every 40 packs. 1 out of 40 packs, that means you got to open about $40,000 worth of Pop Series 5 packs in order to pull a Gold Star. Is a Gold Star at $11,000. Are we going to sit here? And this is why it's the title of this video. I'm just documenting my financial bankruptcy and demise, because this is my demise. This is my character art right here. Just like from Rick and Morty, just like Rick just wanted that Szechuan sauce back from McDonald's, this is just going to be my new character arc, where I'm just going to slowly just demise in front of you, and I'm going to tell you things that are crazy. Like, I think the Espeon Gold Star and from Pop 5 and a 9 might be kind of even undervalued at an all-time high sale. Because this is where we are. This is where we are. I'm just telling you. We are in for the... I'm so tired of hearing the 30th anniversary collapse. Based off of what? We are just... I'm watching it. I'm experiencing it. The amount of... Alright. There's like good metrics. What's a good metric for you? It's like, okay, give me strength of the hobby. Obviously, prices are one thing. The biggest metric I could give you is the amount of, are there new people coming into the hobby? That is the number one metric. It's not how much money is being spent, how much money is sealed product going up, how scarce is modern, what are the rip and ship, and none of that really matters. Okay, that was a bad phrase. It all matters. It all goes together. One thing that matters above all others, in my opinion, is just the new people entering the hobby. The new blood, call it. The fresh money, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it the dumb money. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to call it the dumb money. The fresh money. They're still finding themselves. They're going through their Pokemon puberty right now. There's here where there was no here before. So good for those people. I guess that's a good metric. Are we seeing a lot of new people enter into the hobby? And the answer is, oh yeah. There are new people every single day funneling in. This is something I talked about on my Fanatics live either yesterday or the day before, and I said I was going to mention it. One of the people in the chat was talking about their daughter, not their son, their daughter. Usually there's definitely a lot of girls in the hobby, but definitely more boys than girls, usually, at least based off of my YouTube analytics, which my female viewer ratio, I believe, is 0.01%. So usually there's more males. Again, that's all anecdotal through my metrics. But his daughter, super young, he gave her some money. She came back with a Mewtwo Mew tag team and a PSA 10. And came back with a Charizard and Reshiram and a PSA 10. How? Because she went and she's been hustling at Pokemon cards, buying and selling cards and working deals. A little kid. There's a generation of kids that are coming out of whatever this is. I don't know what this is. This is preposterous. This is wild. There's a group of people coming out of this that are just sharks. Everybody's doing big things. Everything, it's just Does it end? Yeah, it ends. What ends? I mean, is a Rayquaza Gold Star in a 6, is this indicative of sealed modern product not being available? Are Gold Star Espeons, is this a indicative of modern product not being available? Is this, I can't pick up packs at MSRP, so I'll pick up $11,000? Like, is any of this that? Is Mega Gengar cracking $8,600 from Phantom Forces? Is this indicative of that? Of modern product? What? You got a freaking Pikachu Great Felt hat and a Beckett 10. There's only, what, 2 or 3, or maybe there's 2 black labels, but 5,300. The Misty's Favor black label. Look at this. Umbreon VMAX. Shout out Umbreon VMAX. I did pull an Umbreon VMAX 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I pulled one live on stream, on a morning stream, nonetheless. So what is today? Thursday. So on Tuesday morning, I pulled an Umbreon VMAX clean too. Gotta love Umbreon VMAX, super clean. Pulled one, $3,000 and a 10, cracking $3,000. Is this because modern product is above MSRP and like people can't buy it? This is not that. Whatever this is, these prices, and these aren't just one-off sales. This is just overall strength of the market. Diamond and Pearl base reverse Gengar. Gengar from Arceus. Just the prize series 2 pack Gengar. Gyarados reverse holo from Deoxys. This hurts me. Do you want to know when I bought mine? I sold mine. Oh, I bought mine from Dan. Shout out to Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles. My Dragonite, I bought from Dan. $140, Dan, I bought mine from. Oh, wait, no. What was it? Damn it. Dan, I'll have to. Oh, there's no way I could search my Dan's messages. I bought my Dragonite from Dan. He had it as a buy it now. And I messaged him. I was like, hey, I got this card on. And he was like, take this card off for me and let me get it. What's the cash price? I don't even know what Dan mocked. This is going back. But yeah, $4,000 now. First Hollow Dragonite from Old Delta Species. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. OG Umbreon. Umbreon from Skyridge. Legendary Collection. OG at Tops. Techno Zardy Boy. Old Techno. This is not indicative. This is not, oh, I'm upset. Modern product is above MSRP. That's none of what you are looking at on the screen, these prices. This is just indicative of a Latios, CGC 10. Let's look at the old, oh, wait. Let's look at the old. So 8,600 for PSA. Go fuck yourself, CGC. Got 5,900 and a 10. Honestly, though, this was probably a PSA 9 that somebody bought the Latios, cracked it, sent it to CGC, got the 10. So you know what? I make that joke. But either way, I'm making my point. This is not indicative of modern product craziness. This is not indicative of distribution not having product. This is something else. This is a lot of money moving in. I don't know if I had a tinfoil hat right now. I'd say maybe this was institutional money. Not all this, some of this. I think the hobby is fickle. I think the hobby, low pop. The low pop shouldn't matter, right? Remember, nobody cares about vintage. Everybody should only care about modern. The moderner, the better, blah, blah, blah. What we're seeing happen, prices across the board. This is something special. This is special. I don't care anymore. I'm all in. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm all in. I don't see the downturn coming anytime soon. And it's really hard actually for me to get kind of over leveraged right now, but I'm just really trying to over leverage myself. It's kind of actually being more daunting to over leverage myself than not over leverage myself, because how do you make a bad call? This is it. I'm documenting my bankruptcy and demise, because how can you make a bad call when you could have a card like this happen in 154 days? Do you think there's people out there losing a dime in the hobby? This is why the hobby is scary. Nobody's losing money. Nobody. Think about that. You got 100% of people are just printing. It goes to what they always say, the greater fool theory, right? And all the greater fool theory simply states as you just got to find somebody willing to pay more than you, and then you sell to that person. They find somebody willing to pay more than they paid, and that person they sell to will find somebody to pay more. And that's just the greater fool theory. No matter how many times you sell it, there's always somebody out there willing to pay more. The greater fool theory doesn't really work. Eventually, it stops. Eventually, right? You know what's happening right now? The greater fool theory, it doesn't really appear like, it doesn't feel like a theory at this point. It just feels like I don't know what it feels like. The problem is we are being reinforced all the time. And you will continue to push the envelope. Buy after buy, sell after sell. You will push the envelope because what happens is you just keep inching it. And it's kind of like, I don't even know how to phrase it though. It's like you keep inching forward and you just keep looking around and you're like, is anybody going to stop me too? Usually I'm good at analogies. I can't even think of a good analogy of like when you just keep doing something, you just keep looking around and like waiting. I don't know. You're just waiting for somebody to stop you, waiting for like the security guard to come up, be like, whoa, 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 get behind that velvet red rope again. And you're just like, oh, sorry, I knew I shouldn't be here. But you just keep inching forward and nobody's stopping you. And you're just like, it can't be this easy. We're just in this is the greater fool theory-ish. It's harder to find the bad buys than it is to find the good buys. Usually you should be able to be like, it's tough. Yeah, that was a good buy. That was a good buy. The good buys are usually pretty tough to find. And then the bad buys are like, oh yeah, that one's an easy one. They definitely should have did that. That was dumb. You knew that was going to get reprinted. This. It's really hard to find the bad buys right now, because right now there's not really bad buys. Is that sustainable in both the short and the long term? I ask this question all the time and I get pushback every single time, and people are like, I can't believe this guy. But I'm going to let you guys know. And this is why this is documenting my financial bankruptcy and demise, because of the words I'm going to say. I still, to this day, I still think we are early to Pokemon. I also thought that in 2020, and I got pushback then. In 2020, 2021, I made videos talking, are we early to Pokemon? And I put that question out there, and I got shit on by people in the comments. Look at this guy. First of all, there's always a stupid person. Oh, this guy thinks we're early to the hobby. Does he not know Pokemon came out in, original base set came out in 99, and then, there was Japanese base set, and then even before Japanese base set, they had the no symbols, which came out a little bit before that. And he doesn't think about what about all the card ass and everything. This guy doesn't fucking know what he's talking about. Pokemon came out in 1996, and then you can really look at some of the early stuff from 95. Oh my god, we're in 2025. That's 30 years ago, and this guy thinks we're early. Oh, he must be a fucking moron. Yeah. That's exactly what I mean. No, what I mean is we're still early to the hype period of Pokemon. I think we're still early to a large influx of people entering this hobby. I don't think today is the best day on the history of this hobby. And every day from this point on to perpetuity, into foreverness, I don't think that every day is worse than today. I don't think today is the biggest day. I don't think this is the top of the mountain. Sorry. I'm sorry if you do. I'm sorry if you think that today is the best it ever gets. And every day after today, every minute, every second, every day, every year, every month, every whatever. I'm sorry if you think into perpetuity everything is worse than it is today, but I don't. And one of the reasons why is I do think that we are still early into Pokemon. And if we are still early into Pokemon, oh my goodness, what does that mean? Now, I do question this all the time, and it's a question I'll never stop asking is I don't know where the money comes from for a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of money that floats around, but then it's not just Pokemon. I look at, well, how much money is in everything? How many trillions of dollars are invested in the stock market? How many trillions of dollars are invested in crypto? How many trillions of dollars or not I shouldn't say trillions, but how many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in all these different collectible assets across all these different platforms? Just go to eBay and you can't even just watch items ending soonest, but how much volume of just sales go through eBay per day? How much shit is Amazon pumping out? How much shit is just, how many new cars get sold on a day, on a year? It's just like constant money. It's not just in Pokemon, it's just life in general. And then people will say, well, everybody's just over leveraged. They're taking the title of your video and they're taking it to heart, PK, and they're saying, you know what, we want to document our future bankruptcy in Pokemon investing. But you know what? It's just, there's so much money out there, and we live this. And this is why I think we are still at the beginning. We live this. I have gone full-time Pokemon since February 1st. That's not long. February, March, April, May, June, July. We're at the end of July. 6 months. I've been full-time Pokemon for what? Half a year? 6 months? That's nothing in the grand scheme of life. That is nothing in the grand scheme of foreverness. 6 months means it's meaningless. In that 6 months, I'm still running into people on my personal life who still don't know that I don't work my old job, still don't know that I, am full-time Pokemon. And it's not even a conversation I like to have. You think I would want to come on and be like, talk to people and be like, oh, you quit your job to do Pokemon? The amount of people that ask me, is there even money in that? Or are you worried that the market is going to drop? Like, I get these questions all the time. There are amount of people that have no clue that any of this is happening. That just Pokemon in general, that the market is at the craziest market we've ever seen. The fact that Mudkip Gold Stars, forget about it. They don't know Mudkip Gold Star comes from Team Rocket Returns. Definitely do not know that Team Rocket Returns was the first Gold Star set. Definitely doesn't know that it's smacked right between Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Deoxys. And they definitely don't know anything about that. But the fact that trying to explain them that a Mudkip went in the matter of 154 days went from a $4,000 card to a $14,000. I might as well be talking a foreign language to them, because none of that would make even the slightest bit of sense to 99.999% of the people that I meet in my normal life. Now, when I say my normal life is different than my life, I'm in a bubble of people that talk Pokemon, collect Pokemon, deal with Pokemon at the highest end. I've had to curate. I've had to curate that friend group. Curate it in the sense that finding people that have a shared interest with me. And I haven't curated a group of people in my neighborhood. We don't have a weekly come over PK's house and hang out and talk Pokemon. No, I've curated a group of friends that are spread out across not just the country, but spread out across the world. I've had to curate that friend group. So yes, I talk about Pokemon to people a lot, and I curated a group of friends to enjoy this hobby with me. But on my normal life, that is not a thing. That is unheard of. There's nobody that I really know that could have this conversation. But that's it. I think we're early. I think we are still early in the sense that I don't think I could walk into any store and just pull a random person and be like, hey, talk Pokemon with me. Definitely can't talk Pokemon. Like, I guess I don't really talk back to people, but just like the way I rant, I can't do this. I should one day just record myself trying to explain to like what my aunt or my uncle, or, what do I do for work? Like, they don't understand the numbers. My friends don't understand the numbers. No offense. There's going to be 1,000 people watch this video. I don't think most of the people watching this video understand it. They're so worried. Their question is going to be, PK, what do you think about Pokemon Center ETBs? I've been watching 151 ETBs. Should I buy in now for Pokemon Center 151 ETBs? Shut the fuck up. I don't give a flying. I don't care about that. Like, but that is what, like, is on the 99.9% of people's brains who are, like, entering this hobby. Why it's 151, why it's Pokemon Center ETBs, why is that question always asked? Why weren't you just buying it when they came out and they were readily available on Pokemon Center forever? Like, why? Why do people care about stuff like that now? Why is that it? It's like, what do you think about this? It's like, what do I think about this? Just, I don't care. I don't care about any of that stuff. Just buy it. You like it, buy it. Don't look for me. I don't need to reinforce anybody's thoughts. Just do what you want to do. You weren't around when 151 was readily available on Pokemon Center. You weren't around when 151 UPCs were $80 on Costco shelves and just sat there and nobody wanted $80 UPCs because the Metal Mew was worthless, because the Mewtwo was $1.25, because the Mew regular EX was $1.75. So in the value of your 3 promos was maybe $3 if you could scrape it together. And now each one of those promos are crazy. That's a UPC. And then you got the Chunky Boy Snorlax, which you got the ETB, which is preposterously expensive versus the packs. You just want some promos. It's like, here's some Snorlax. Here's some Snorlax promos for you. Do you want these? You don't want to pay a premium for these. Do you know why there's so many of these? Because you would just break down ETBs to get packs. It's just a Snorlax promo. I don't care. What? Because the stamp promo's there? Yes. I've been always on board for Pokemon Center ETB promos, and I think that they've always been I like them when they're released. There's just stuff I don't go back and look back on because maybe I'm just there when it happened. And it's like, I'm just moving on to the next thing to go back and see what the prices of that. But you want to know what? Now here's the thing. What am I doing with them? I have a whole sealed case of them. Woo! Humble brag right there. I got a whole sealed case of Pokemon Center 151 ETBs. What am I doing with them? You talk all this shit about them. You don't care and stuff. What are you doing with it? I'm just holding mine. I'm sitting on them. Why? I don't really need the liquidity of that. And one, it's buried behind a bunch of other stuff. I probably couldn't even reach it if I wanted to. And I don't want to spend the time to go grab it out to even sell it. But there's a lot of other, it's like, that's the thing. It's like things that I don't know how they're going to perform in the future. I'm just not really touching. There's just too many plays right now happening today in the moment where it's just the turn and burn. It's like, just keep with the turning and burning. For me, it's just keep doing what works. Stop doing what doesn't work, which I've stopped that a long time ago. And the thing is, too, is there's so much in this hobby. The amount of people that just live, I mean, I talk about it like I live in a bubble of my friends in the hobby and versus like my friends in real life. But people live in a bubble of this hobby with what they want to expand. You know how many sets there are in Pokemon? Do you know how many cards exist out there? It's like, just go. Like, I'm jealous of every single person that ever enters this hobby. Why am I jealous of them? Because they get to experience a world of Pokemon. And most people have the same story. They grew up, they were in Pokemon, and they grew out of Pokemon. And then they grew back up into Pokemon. It's a weird thing. It's like you grow out of Pokemon because you're in elementary school and you go to middle school and you start chasing girls and you probably are failing at it. And you go to high school and you continue to fail at it. And then you go to college and then you probably fail at it even more. And then eventually after college, maybe you find a wife who's dumb enough to actually marry you. And then you marry her and then you have a family and you're happy as a pig in shit. But it took a long time. And then in all that time, you've lost Pokemon because you grew out of it. But then guess what? You're all settled and you become an adult and you say, you know what, I'm going to go back to maybe something I used to love as a child. You rediscover this thing which is Pokemon, and then you grow back into Pokemon, and then you no longer care about, there's nothing to be ashamed of at that point. And then you get to a point high enough, which takes a while, and then it's actually really, really cool to like Pokemon. At least for me, I think it's really, really cool to like Pokemon. You want to know the best thing about liking Pokemon right now is people look at you and they go, wow, I wish I was that guy. I wish I got in when they got in. Well, it's like maybe a lot of us just discovered Pokemon was cooler before other people. And eventually other people are going to find it's cooler and cooler. And just the fact that I mentioned that there's people out there, there's a generation of sharks being born in this hobby. generation of sharks that are continue this way past anything we are doing. And there will be a group of people that will keep going back. Listen, today's modern is tomorrow's vintage. It's simple. Today's modern, tomorrow's vintage. So everybody was, and it's like, do you remember the argument, or like the vintage versus modern debate? The vintage versus modern debate was Sword and Shield is the best there ever was, and everybody's gonna, have all this fondness to Sword and Shield. That was the argument. And the answer was, yeah, but eventually Sword and Shield will become vintage, and it might as well be at this point. We've only moved a single generation away. We went from Sword and Shield to Scarlet and Violet. And you want to know what? Evolving Skies, there's people that look at Evolving Skies. You ever seen that Fido card when he's looking in the bakery and he sees all the buns and he's got the sad face on, probably because there was a bunch of his friends are all in there because he's dead. They're dead because the Fido is all he is. He's just a bunch of buns. He's a delicious bakery treat right there. That is what the Fido is, but he's looking at the window, and that's what a lot of people right now in the hobby is doing. But instead of having delicious baked goods behind the glass, there's just a bunch of Evolving Skies boxes, and they got the same face the Fido does from that illustration rare, and they're just looking in and they're like, man, if only I wish I was around for Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is, we just saw a Moonbreon seal, $3,000 in a 10. Evolving Skies booster boxes are $3,000. Those boxes might as well be vintage at this point. That's it. People just keep moving on. And then, you know what? All the people that were fond of Sword and Shield, they don't care anymore. They move on to the vintage stuff. And you know what? Sword and Shields was all the rage, and now Scarlet and Violet is all the rage. And guess what? Black Bolt, White Flare, you know what that did? It put a fork in it. It's done. It's the end of a generation. Then we're going to move on to the Megas. I don't know if the Megas are going to be like a shorter print wave, like set wave. I don't know what you want to call it. Kind of like Heart Gold Soul Silver base, Unleash, Undaunted, Triumphant like that 4, or even maybe a 1 standalone like a Call of Legends, or maybe like a Platinum base set, Rise and Rivals, Supreme Victors, Arceus. Those are all 4 too right there. Maybe it'll be a little subset. Who knows what the Mega Evolution is going to be? Who cares? But you know what? Eventually, Scarlet and Violet is just going to be a thing of the past, and people are just going to be like, Scarlet, the Violet. I want the newer, I want the moderner, I want the better. And that's all Pokemon is. It's all about the moderner, but more importantly, it's about the better. And what's the better? The newest thing, the newest, shiniest thing. But then, you know what? There will always be a group of people that will go back, and then you get enough people going back. And my thought has always been, when it came to vintage, it was low pop. It's just like, and this was the argument, right? You remember this? What would you rather have? Would you rather have a card with a pop 25 because you only need then 25 people battling for it? Or would you rather have a Moonbreon which has a 30,000 pop, and it's like, well, I'd rather have a 30,000 pop because if there's 30,000 pop, there's still 100,000 people that want it, versus why would I want a vintage card? Well, look at some of these vintage prices when you got the old Mudkip going from 4,000 to 14,000 in 154 days. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's just like, can't we all be right? Can't the vintage guy be right? Can't the modern guy be right? Can't we all just eat at the end of the day? Can't we all just sit at the same table and just feast? Because that is what's going on. Nobody is leaving this table hungry at this point. Everybody should get their fill, because everybody's kind of getting what they want. But it's like, this is the thing too. It's the whole old, oh, well, rising tides, they lift all ships and everything does good. But when the tide goes back out, all the ships float back down together. And it's like, the amount of things that have just stepped up. I mean, I'm not going to do my whole PK where I go through every timeline, but one of the websites I use to pick up product, they just put Legendary Collection booster boxes on there. I could pick up a Legendary Collection booster box right now if I wanted to, from this certain place that I could get vintage from. Do you want to know what the dollar amount is for said Legendary Collection booster box? $100,000. You know what? Might not be a bad buy. Yeah. You think I didn't want to buy a Legendary Collection booster box when they were $50,000. Sure as fuck didn't want to buy them when they were 40 or 30 or 20. But now I'm seeing a $100,000 price tag, and I'm like, maybe it's worth it. Why? Well, because you got 36 packs. Every single pack's going to come with a reverse holo. Every single pack is going to be expensive. Could I see myself selling Legendary Collection booster packs in the future for $4,000 a piece? What is the premium on that? Do I see a point where Legendary Collection booster packs are $4,000 a piece coming out of a fresh booster box? So what is that, $144,000 a box? Because I could, in theory, see a $4,000 pack making sense. Well, and it's like, how? How can you make a $4,000 Legendary Collection booster pack make sense? Well, when every single Legendary Collection reverse hollow, when a brick will be a $2,000 PSA 10. It's like, well, you could start making things make sense when your worst case scenario is some shitty Pidgey reverse hollow from Legendary Collection. Yeah, the Pidgey, not the Dark Dragonite. Sure as hell not the Charizard fireworks pattern. It's just a Pidgey. Could be a $2,000 low pop PSA 10 in the future. You can make anything you want start working in your brain. How do we get to that point where I could just talk about anything? It's like, are you sitting here and you're telling me you could justify a $100,000 Legendary Collection booster box? Yeah. Yep. Are we there yet? Nope. Are we getting there? Maybe. Maybe we get there. That's a $100,000 box, and I'm justifying a $144,000 price tag. Now, obviously, I jumped up a lot. I added literally over $1,000 extra per pack. So you could literally say, you subtract $1,000 per pack, and you're still not at $100,000 at $3,000 per pack. But you know what? I gotta be careful doing this. There's too many people are gonna hear this. They're gonna run with it, and they're not gonna understand the point I'm trying to make versus the actual words that are coming out of my mouth. But that's a problem. It's back to the title of this video, documenting my financial bankruptcy and my very, very soon eventual demise. Because at this point, either one, things are going to keep working. I'm starting to look at timelines, and I'm just like, how? And then this is real internal PK in your brain. How much longer does it have to take? You know, once upon a time, it was maybe like, oh, I would love to do this for 20 more years. And then it's like the timeline gets down. It's like, I can maybe 15 more years. Well, what if this could stretch out for 10 years? Now I'm looking at like, I'm less than 5-year timeline. I'm like, what about a 3-year timeline? 3-year timeline with this type of exponential growth, because the amount of growth that I've had in the last 365 days in the PK, and the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, by the way, I don't give Dan deserves no credit in anything. Dan, if you're out there, you deserve no credit. No, I'm joking. No, I'm just fucking with Dan. But I got to give Dan credit. One of the things he did was, by allowing me to stream with him, I have had zero time to sell any of my personal stuff. Thank God that happened. I would probably have sold a ton of my stuff into the market. I just haven't sold stuff into the market because I just kind of been doing other things. And thank God. And it's like, well, what did you do, PK? Like, give us a secret. It's like, I didn't do anything. That's my secret. I just had stuff sitting in the grandma's basement. And just, for the last 365 days, I've watched as some stuff 1x, other stuff has 2x, some shit has 10x, other stuff has 20x. And it's like, and then the money starts, and the dollar amounts and everything, and it's like your timelines. It's like, well, what does a 3-5-year timeline mean to you now? It's like 3-5-year timeline means just you get to the point where it's just like, fuck you money to everything. It's like you don't care about anything. You could set yourself up. You know, what is that? Fire is the dumbest thing ever. People talk about it. You know, it's just like, your investments like pretty much fund your retirement. It's like, that never works for me, because there is no scenario in which in people's fire calculations it's like $30,000 a week on Pokemon. Sorry, there is probably, when everybody's doing their fire calculations, there's not a line item that's, how much would I need to continue buying 30,000, 10,000, 15,000, 4,000, 1,000, 2,000, 200? Where's those line items? It's like, that doesn't exist. But it's like, to move into a good position where I could be, set myself up, set the kids up, set my wife up, set my family up. It's like, we're moving into that position. And why? What did you do? Why did you why do you deserve any of this? You don't deserve any of this. And it's like, I guess you probably don't deserve really a lot of stuff, but it's like you believe in stuff enough and you sit here and you make a video every single week for 5 years or whatever I'm coming up on. I started this channel in 2020. Here we are in 2025. 5 years later, and I sat behind a camera every single week looking like a moron, and every single live it's just like PK is just, you know what for going years back, do you want to know what one of the, like, people used to, people always say shit about my channel, but one of the things people don't like, and you can actually go back and look at some of this stuff, it was like PK's too bullish on the market. That was like people's critique against me a long time ago. It's like PK is just too bullish. He just thinks everything is going good, because that was when things weren't going great for a lot of people. But it was as I walked through the valley of the $79, $95 booster box, I fear no evil, because I believed in it then. And it's just like, it's a continuous reinforcement. It's like a continuing just believing, though. But then that's a lot of what this is. It's just believing in it. And there's always going to be naysayers from now until foreverness. It's like anything. There was probably a naysayer when Apple's IPO came out, and in 99, and then 99, or in 1990, and then in 1999 somebody didn't like the stock, and then in 2000, and then in 2006, and then in 2009, and then in 2015, and then in 2020, and then today in 2025, when Apple had their best ever whatever quarterly earnings since 2021, and there will still be a naysayer today that will say you should sell your Apple. And and you know what, there was somebody buying and selling every single day, and there was a naysayer every way, and there was probably at least one or two guys who were just like crazy bullish and just every single day just said, I like more of this. And it's like, maybe I could just be that guy. Maybe I could just like it more and more every day and just keep doing it and just keep doing what I'm doing and just keep. And then this is a problem too, and it's the most dangerous thing, and it's back to the title. It's like, this is just a documentation of my eventual financial bankruptcy and demise from what is Pokemon. And I'm letting you know, because this is my conscious stream of thought. I'm just letting you know that eventually, like, maybe it all comes to an end. The amount of money that first of all, the amount of money that entered this hobby across the board, against, from whether it's a Mudkip Gold Star, which is the first ever, one of the three, you got the Torchic, Mudkip, Trekka, one of the first ever 3 gold stars, all the way up to the most successful, most modern booster box, which is Destined Rival. Yes, Black Bolt, White Flare, that is a specialty set, main expansion, Destined Rival, the most expensive modern set, in the most successful modern set in the history of this hobby. And you could have a complete Everything Rises. And then I talked to my friends who were just at New Jersey Collecticon. There's some other people that were at Richmond. Charlotte's next week. You know what everybody's saying about it? They're like, PK, I can't even get deals from vendors anymore. What do you mean you can't get deals from vendors? I can't buy it 70%. I can't buy it 80%. It's hard enough to find somebody who's crazy enough to sell at me at 90%. It's like, why? It's like, because nobody even wants to do a deal anymore. And it's like, well, why don't they want to do a deal? It's like, because they'll just wait for the next guy to come around, because the next guy will pay 100%. And it's like, okay. And it's like, well, why will that guy pay 100%? Why aren't they trying to get a deal? It's because they just think next week it's going to be worth 110% of what they paid. And so much of that is true. I go back and I think about my recent sales in the near past, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it's like fake numbers, it might as well be fake numbers of how much but again, it's like, well, what did you do with the money at the time? There's all these nuances and caveats and all this stuff, but it's just, you look at the hobby and you ask yourself, it's just like, removing forever out of the conversation, how much longer do you really need? And then when the downturn, if it does come and it pulls back, how much does it pull back? And then can you shield yourself and insulate yourself so when it does happen, it doesn't even matter? Think about that. Can you insulate yourself where you could lose 50% and it doesn't even matter? I tell you right now, remember I went on a rant talking about Pokemon Center ETBs, 151 PC ETBs? I got a sealed case back there, and you know what? I don't even, one, know what current market price is. Number two, if that thing cut in half from 50% of wherever it's at today, whatever price point people are buying and selling those ETBs at today, it could cut in half 50%. And one, I don't even know the current market price. And if it cuts in 50%, it doesn't even affect me in the absolute most minuscule, slightest bit. It does not matter. It has zero effect on me. Zero. It's like, is that how you insulate yourself? Where it's just like, you just don't even care? But it's like, well, that's just one product. Well, do you care when it's everything? And it's like, do I care if it's everything? No. I think the answer is no. Because you're losing 50% of 4, 5, 600% gains. It's like, what is it? The Gordon Gekko from Wall Street? Greed is good. Greed is good, right? Everybody's favorite word, the G word. Greed is good. And it's just like, is enough's enough? It's like, maybe just enough is enough. Like, I don't even... Fusion Strike booster boxes went out. I just sold a case of Fusion Strike booster boxes a couple months back on a stream. I've auctioned it all off. I started the auction at $1. Luckily, checkout failed, payment failure happened. Dan, I think, was having a little mini heart attack, but it was my case of Fusion Strike booster boxes. I got a bunch of cases of Fusion Strike booster boxes. You think I care if prices go down 50%? It probably wouldn't feel good, but I don't think I would really care. And like, maybe that's the problem. It's just like, there's so much of this that happens. And it's like, but it's like, well, why keep doing it then? What, like, where's the driving factor if you don't care? And then I think the driving factor where maybe that's a cop then. Maybe you do care. Or maybe it's just, you're actually doing something you truly, truly love. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because I feel like most of us, if not all of us, we've already been reassured. And no matter what happens from now until forever, I always get to say I was right, too. Does that make sense? A lot of us in this hobby who have been successful in this hobby, you get that. That is your get out of jail free. That is your drop your dick on the table when everybody just says anything. And it's just like, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter what anybody else does, you will always just get that one trump card, which is just, well, I was right. Now, was I right about everything? No. Was I right about enough? Yes. Change my life? Yes. Change the trajectory of my life? Yes. Change the trajectory of my family's life? Yes. Change my happiness level? Oh, yes. Like, it's just, you always get that. It's just like, you can't lose. So maybe that's a problem too, is you're now, when, back to the beginning of this video, when you're sitting at that Texas Hold'em table, and you got pocket aces, and you flipped them face up, and you're all in pre-flop, like, maybe you shouldn't be sitting at the table when you don't care what the flop, the turn, or the river actually is. But I feel like a lot of us at this point, we're showing our hands, and we don't even care what other cards come out. We don't care what other people have. Because you know what? At the end of the day, even if I lose all that money, it's not enough for me to stop playing the game. I just go back and cash back in. What's a buyback? All right, here. I'm buying back in. That's it. I think that's a problem too. It's just like, you feel like you're in a no-lose situation. And that is why it's the definition of scariness. Maybe that's it. You feel like you're in a no lose, but there is a chance for lose. But then the chance is like, what has to happen now? Because you've been so insulated now from what could be the worst. You're so insulated from that. Like, what happens? A Mudkip goes from 14K down to $4,000. I'm not the buyer of that card too. Does that make, maybe that's the problem too, is that I'm not the buyer of that card. Well, I want to talk about the Mudkip. I want to throw it up on the screen and say, look at this. 154 days later. 154 days later, a Mudkip goes from 4,300 to 4,900 or 14, I can't even talk. 4,300 to 14,900. Maybe that's it too. Maybe it's because I'm insulated in the sense that I'm not the buyer of this card. First of all, this is a CGC 10. Fuck CGC. This thing might as well be worthless to me. I didn't value this card on February 23rd at 4,300 because if I did, I could have bought this card. And I sure as hell don't value this card at 14,900 because I sure as hell don't value it at that. The same way as I didn't value it at 154 days earlier. Maybe that's it too because I've insulated myself from this sense. But you know what? On February 23rd, when I didn't value this card at $4,300, you want to know what? I was the dumb one. You know why? Because 154 days later, that card would have been $14,000. So I was the dumb one. So maybe that's why I don't care too, is because I'm also insulated from this type of stuff. Where it does, these prices, they don't matter to me. I am not the buyer of a single one of these cards. All these cards, not a single one of these are my purchases. Maybe that's it too. Maybe there's just a lot. There's a lot of compounding things going on. Where are we? All right. Let's heal the PK rant. You guys still tune in to this every week? You know, I've never missed a single week of, I didn't miss a single Thursday Night Live in all of 2025, and I did not miss a single Thursday Night Live in 2024, and I have not missed a single week since November 2020. It's every single week I've put out a video for 5 years. Five years. Not missing a single week of content. Something to be said about that, or maybe there's not. Maybe that is it. Maybe it's also just a unwilling, unstoppable determination. You guys ever think maybe that has a little bit to do with it? Maybe it takes a special person, too, to go and... I'm live in front of a camera 11 times a week. 11 times! Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights. Because on Thursday nights, I'm here on YouTube. Think about that. What does that have? Maybe that has a lot to do with it. Shout out to number one mod in the game. Speaking of being there forever. Old number one mod in the game, Drew. He's been there since the beginning. But maybe that's it too. Just an unstoppable, can't be stopped, won't stop, can't stop, won't stop. Can't. Couldn't stop if I wanted to. I've passed the, everybody's talking about black holes lately. I've passed the event horizon right there. Everything is starting to compress in on itself. Time dilation, you name it. It's all going on right now. Everything is just happening in slow motion. From those outside looking in, it looks like I'm just staying static. I'm not even moving. But for you in the black hole, time is still moving. You've crossed that event horizon. While everybody out there, it just looks like you're standing still. You're not. You're moving. Maybe we're in it. We're in the black hole. And from everybody else from outside looking in, it looks like we're just staying static. But we are not. Time's moving. It just keeps ticking. That's it too. And it's just like, and then I look at it and it's like, okay. Then you ask the question of, what does it take to leave? And I think people like Rudy talk about this all the time. Rudy always talks about the average. I don't know where he gets these numbers from, but I'll take Rudy for his word for it. Rudy says, oh, the average collector is only in the hobby for what? Like 6 months, a year, 2 years. I hear all these different numbers get thrown around. 3 months. And it's like, I don't know what it takes me to leave. I don't even think I could. Like, I don't know a scenario in which I could even leave. Like, I can never be fully out. It's just like the movie Godfather. No matter how hard I try to get out, it just pulls me right back in. It's just like that with Pokemon. You're just going to be always pulled right back in. I don't even know. What does it take for me to leave? I can't leave. I'm in. You're in too deep. It's like the mob. You can't leave. You're in. So, like, when Rudy talks about it, that's another thing, too. Maybe I'm just... my brain can't process, because when Rudy says the average collector is only here for 6 months, in my head, and maybe it's because of the group of people that I surround myself, and I look at my other friends in the hobby, I think about Dan. I think about Nick Old School Pokemon. I think about Rusty TCA Gaming. I think about Rattle Pokemon. I think about these people who are my good friends in the hobby. Every single one of those I look up to and respect for different reasons. And so with my Nicks and the Dans and the Rattles and the Rusties, and I look at these people and I say, how does this person leave? How does Nick leave? How does Dan leave? How does Dan get out? I'm looking over here. There's a bunch of Dan shit. Dan, leave anytime you want. I got it. I'll take care of it. Rattle. How does Rattle? Rattle's not leaving. I look at Rusty. My man Rusty has never had a job. Ever. Ever. His whole life. He has never had a job. He's only ever known Pokemon his entire life. He has never, well, you know what I mean. Like, he did, like, some construction jobs and stuff. Rusty has a great story. But he's never had, like, a W-2 job in his entire life. Because he's been doing Pokemon since he was in college, selling Pokemon because he realized he can make $20 a week. And for a college kid, making $20 a week grinding Pokemon singles was enough to, like, $20 a week in college, you think you're rich. And that was in 2009 or whatever. Rusty just went to school for mathematics to be a teacher, and he just never stopped doing Pokemon. He only ever did Pokemon. His entire life, he's never had a job. I look at a man like Rusty, and I say, how does he leave? He can't leave. He can't leave. That's not possible. So when I hear Rudy say, oh, the average person is 6 months, like that thought, that it's such a foreign topic to me. It's like, how do these people leave? And it's like, I can't even relate. Does that make sense? Like, I can't relate to that person. I don't interact with those type of people, so I don't understand the thought process or the mindset. And then everybody's always so worried about that person. And it's like, what are you worried about them? What, that they'll make some bad buys in 6 months and they'll be gone? Like, that's what you're worried about? It's like, there's so much of this hobby. Nobody knows everything. If you ever find the person that says they know everything about the hobby, run away from that person. Turn around and do your best Forrest Gump and full out sprint away from that person, because no one in this hobby knows everything. It's literally impossible. And anybody that tells you they do, they are full of shit. There's a lot of people that know a lot. Anybody could be a master of one thing, but nobody could be a master of everything. I promise you, there's probably a lot of people that are masturbators out there, but this is not really a child's program. But either way, don't worry about those people. Nobody knows everything, I promise you that. But you know why? Because there's so much of this hobby. And you could just be engulfed by so much of this hobby from now until forever. So I don't get it. I never understood the Rudyisms where he says the average person is 6 months. So many people take that as gospel too. What if Rudy's wrong? What if Rudy's wrong? What if the average life or average age of somebody in this hobby, what if it is not 6 months? What if it's forever? That's average, not every single person, but what if the average? What if I'm not the outlier? What if Dan is not the outlier? What if Nick Old School Pokemon is not the outlier? What if Rattle is not the outlier? What if Rusty is not the outlier? What if we're actually part of the average, and the average person that enters Pokemon never leaves? Now, does every single person get to the level of just all in on Pokemon, quit their full-time job and go full-time? I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to go all in and create businesses and be full-time Pokemon and quit your 9 to 5. That's not what I'm saying as the average. I'm just saying, what if the average just actually never leaves? Does anybody ever throw that out, that maybe the average person doesn't leave? Now, not to say they're actively engaged, but you don't have to be actively engaged. So now, if the average person actually never leaves, And they're always kind of just in the background, and they're buying one pack of every set. They walk into a local grocery store and they're constantly buying, or they buy one booster box of every set and they buy one ETB of every set, and they're not going crazy. They're not building businesses. They're not building empires. They're not doing seven figures. But this just becomes about the average person, the average lifestyle. It becomes forever. Now, every person that's actually entering is never leaving. So now they just want to enjoy one ETB and one pack and one booster box of every set. Well, guess what? Now that is one less booster box that's on the market. That is one less ETB. That is one less pack. And you start to multiply that by the constant influx of people keep coming in and in and in, day and day and day and day. And then when you had a nice little allocation from distribution, you get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 booster boxes. What does that mean when the average person is here forever and they just want one? 4,000 booster boxes when everybody wants one is nothing. So then what happens when that number just keeps going on and more and more and more? And then eventually you do have the people that are the average person that is now here forever, and they want two, and they want three, and they want to start building positions. And then all this numbers, it's just like, it's a weight. You ever seen the movie Idiocracy? The fucking giant pile of trash. Maybe that just becomes his hobby. I mean, there's already enough plastic clam shells and stuff that could fill landfills, but just imagine the amount of people. It's just constantly piling on top of each other, more and more people. And everybody's waiting for, the average person's supposed to leave after 6 months. Just what if they don't? What if the average person just sticks around, and they stick around, and they stay around, and they stay around? And sure, maybe they don't have to buy every set. Maybe they just buy a couple of each set. Maybe they buy a SKU here, they buy a SKU here, but it's still just constant demand. It's constant demand on a hobby where everybody is supposed to be leaving. Maybe they're just sticking around, maybe. And then maybe there are the people that are going to grow businesses and stuff, and they want more and more and more, and there's just not enough of it to go around. So there's a lot of just stuff. It's just all piling on. It's piling on itself to make this hobby just bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. What if, God forbid, everybody takes Rudy, just everybody's gone in 6 months? And you know what? There's probably truth to that. And you know why there's probably truth to that? You could go back on my old YouTube videos, which this YouTube channel is not mainstream, and which again, the weird thing is the mainstream. You guys, I don't know, your algorithms are absolutely fucked up the B right there, because if your algorithm is all financial Pokemon content, I don't know what you've done to screw up your content. Turn on incognito mode. There's a little button, and just go into your search bar and just type in Pokemon. If you just type in Pokemon, you're not going to find any investment channels. You're going to find PokeRev. You're going to find Pokemon Go channels. Now, if your search term is very, very skewed and you type in Pokemon investing in your search terms, then yes, you're going to get Pokemon investing videos. But the people that are like, it's all Pokemon investing content, just turn on incognito mode and just search Pokemon. That's it. One word, Pokemon, and you could go live your happy life. Like, get out of here for those. I'm just tired of that. It's just, your algorithm is going to cater for what you want. If you like negative clickbaity titles, if you like Pokemon investment, if you like, this is red arrows going down, green arrows pointing at me, bankruptcy, demise, stupidness. I don't remember what else I put. I put something funny on it. Clicks, click, 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 clickety click. That's it. Your algorithm is messed up because you've messed it up. It is not Pokemon that messed it up. It is you. You messed it up. You, the rage mob. The rage mob, you want it. You want it. You want to click on it. I get it. And, it's who's the person? There's the finance guy. Caleb Hammer, is that his name? Caleb Hammer. It's just finance porn. What is finance porn? That's all it is. It's just finance porn. What is it? You're literally just watching people that are in a way worse spot than you. And you will not be able to relate with 99% of the... all right. If you could relate with any of the people on that show, you got some problems you need to figure out some stuff. But for the most people, you watch it and you can't relate to any of the people on the show. And it's like, well, are you getting something from the show? Are you learning how to manage your debt? It's like, no. Well, what do you, it's just finance porn. It's just people are watching people that are in worse positions. And it's like, if your algorithm has Caleb Hammer on or whatever his name is, because it's all people in a shittier spot and it's just some dude sitting behind the table just telling people why their finances are absolutely fucked to begin with and how dumb it is for all the debt they are in. And it's like, you get nothing out of it. You learn nothing. You just, it's entertainment. You fucked up your algorithm because you clicked on that. That is not a financial literacy channel. You're not learning anything from that, but people will watch it because they like that kind of stuff. And it probably uplifts and it probably picks up people because it makes them feel better about themselves. Because you look at somebody else who's in a shittier position than you, it just makes you feel better. It's the same thing with Pokemon. If I was truly going bankrupt right now and I was closing the doors, I'm saying that's it. Me and the wife were putting the for sale sign on the house. Me and the kids were moving in the low income tomorrow. I've single-handedly destroyed our finances. Our life is ruined. I am officially broke. I'm doing the Michael Scott. I'm standing out in the middle of a room and screaming on the top of my lungs. I declare bankruptcy. That video would actually get a lot of videos because you know what? It would be Pokemon investing porn to a lot of people because it would be my demise and people would just freaking love it. That's it. That's the hobby. You've done that to your algorithm. Pokemon did not do that to your algorithm. You did that to your algorithm. I got that out of the way. Happy Gilmore 2 was pretty good. You guys should watch it. They did a lot of throwbacks to the first one. I enjoyed it. I got a lot of free time nowadays. Been watching TV shows. I've been watching movies. I've been watching Righteous Gemstones. That's actually a pretty funny show. I finished The Penguin on HBO. Great show. Season 1 was actually really good. A lot of good shows out there. We are living in the golden age of television. We're living in the golden age of media. We are living in the golden age of Pokemon. Got a lot of free time. Doing a lot of fun stuff. And do what you love. Enjoy it. Enjoy your life. If you're not having fun in Pokemon, I don't know. If you're not having fun now, are you ever going to really have fun? What do you want? What, you just want, you're mad because you can't buy a modern pack? Alright. I like 80% of you guys. For the other 20% of you guys, I hate you. All right, with that said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. You guys want to scroll up? Let's look at the old chat. Now is your time. If you guys have any questions to ask, I've only ranted for 1 hour and 17 minutes. I will go. We got number 1 mod in the game, Drew. We got RVD. Says, PK the GOAT. The best Pokemon rants this side of the old Mississippi. Can't come soon enough. RVD. Hold up. Rob Van Dam in the chat. RVD. Appreciate you. We got Chef's Collect. We got Tap. There he's Tap again. We got Katie Lowen. Said, God bless the man. The Myth Legend is back for the 987th time. Thursday in a row. Yes. We got Mr. Son of Mewtwo. I appreciate all the gifted memberships. He said, what up, PK? What up, Drew? We got Miss Kelsey says, hello. I hope you won't be on the Demise for a while. No, Kelsey. Don't worry. It's all about the clickbaity. Got the point where Son of Mewtwo gifting the memberships. Appreciate you, big dog. We got Tap gifting the memberships. Tap, appreciate you too, buddy. Let's see. Nam says, bad day to not know how poker works. Listen, it's fine. Let's see. People pull out the lurkers, says the memberships. We got Hamburger says, Destin Rivals acting crazy. Booster boxes of it specifically at lowest possible entry point. Is a winner dollar. So I mean, this is the thing. Destin Rivals, it's like, do we get a major reprint of it? I don't know. I'm not buying Destin Rivals at this price point. I've already bought. I'm sitting on 2 cases, or I have to go look at my invoices. I'm sitting on either 2 or 3 cases of Destin Rivals, and that's it. And keep in mind, out of those cases I'm sitting on, I have to take. Oh no, all right, I have a couple more. I actually have a decent position. I need to actually reassess my Destin Rivals booster box. Oh, one of the things about streaming is I haven't had time to sell stuff. And I actually am sitting on a decent amount of Destin Rivals. that I need to consider liquidating because my price point's low. But again, I'm not selling right now, but I'm not buying at these prices. And it's just like, well, what are you buying? Listen. What are you buying? Look at it. Look at it. Look. At the Mew. That's a good Mew right there. What are you buying? 151. 151. Not EPBs. Not UPCs. Loose packs. 151. What am I buying? Keep buying it. Keep buying it. Just keep buying it. We got more, just a bunch of it dropped the other day. Like, just keep buying it. Yum, 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 yum. 151. I like it. Oh, but I am doing something different. So a while ago I said I am buying. It was kind of a cheat because I said, but 151 Crown Zenith, Paldea Evolved, and Prismatic at MSRP. I actually sold I actually think you guys should be selling some Prismatic if you're doing loose packs because there are drops happening right now. I think you're going to have chances in the near term. But again, I said I'm picking up Prismatic packs at MSRP. I'm not picking them up at higher prices. That's why I said it's always a cheat because I do not have an easy ability source to source Prismatic at MSRP. I just don't. I never have. I still don't. When I was picking up, it's sporadic. It's like the couple booster bundle drops, on the rattle disc. It's nothing. But yeah, if you had some prismatic packs and you were doing what I said, you're picking up at MSRP when you can. I don't think now is a bad time to just cash out, get some prices. I think you'll get opportunity to get packs lower. And if you don't, who cares? I still think MSRP is a good price. And while I think maybe pack price, I think you might have good exit opportunities right now. I think that pack prices will drop. So I'm not acquiring, well, I'm still acquiring Prismatic at MSRP, but I'm just selling into the market. Put it that way. That is the best way to acquire Prismatic at MSRP, sell into the market. But like I said, if you want to sit on it and hold, I don't think it's a bad decision. I'm just not doing that. But again, that's why I said it's cheating because to tell somebody to buy Prismatic at MSRP, it's like, thanks, PK. Maybe next time you tell me when I'm walking along the sidewalk, if I see $100 bill on the ground, like, thanks for the advice to bend over and pick it up. No problem, Timmy. Yeah, pick up that $100 bill when you're walking. That's kind of like what I'm saying. It's giving dumb advice. But 151. So Johnny, the old Johnny Bongo, the old Rillaboom on the bongos. Old Johnny Bongo says, I bought my Destin Rivals boxes at $2.15 each. I'm not touching it anymore. Yeah, I mean, good price. Good price at $2.15. Respectable. That's about right around where I picked up some of mine. And yeah, I'm just not buying more, but I'm not selling right now. Probably should. We got MMK says, getting product from Scarlet Violet halfway through the set becomes ridiculous. Not sure what that meant. Getting product from Scarlet Violet halfway through the set becomes ridiculous. So you're saying just because prices keep going up and like prices aren't downturning? I might have read it wrong. Scrappy Pat said, watch a documentary about junk wax era and how people started investing in baseball cards. The whole thing screamed, what's going on in Pokemon? Yeah, Scrappy, I would say to say there is zero similarities between junk wax era and Pokemon, I would say that would not be fair. There's definitely some things that are similar. The only thing is with sports, there was a lot of people that could print sports. Your Tops, Upper Deck, Don Russ, and they were just printing a ton of this stuff. It's just Pokemon printing. And there's a lot of like crazy stories about like Pokemon printers and sports card printers just printing a ton of this stuff, and we just don't have that ability because they're just not printing as much Pokemon as they were sports cards back in the day. And it's only one company. And the one thing about this company is just a freight train and it just keeps moving down. Like there was just some sports, like 88 Donruss and shit just kept getting reprinted. Pokemon is just not really going back and reprinting. It's just freight train. It keeps moving on. So it just turns it into like, in a sense, an artificial scarcity. It's artificial in the sense that Pokemon is making the conscious decision to not go back and reprint a lot of this stuff because they could. Like, there was a lot of time. I mean, the conversation a lot of people have is Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies. Pokemon left a lot of money on the table to not go back and print Evolving Skies when it was 180 a box. Yeah, people are going to say 180 a box, but PK, you just were talking about Death's Arrivals at whatever over 3. Yeah, no, it's not the same. At the time, there was a lot of money to be made by going back and reprinting Evolving Skies when it was 180 a box, and you know what? They didn't. They went and they reprinted a little bit when it was at 140 they printed at 170, reprinted at 170, dropped down to 140, went back up to 180, which was right where the original reprint hit, and they didn't hit it again with the reprint, so they left a lot of money. And it's a lot of stuff in Pokemon. Pokemon's leaving a lot of money on the table by not reprinting a lot of these sets. There's a lot of sets they could go back. They could have kept printing a lot of this Sword and Shield stuff. I mean, fuck, they could have went back and printed, like, the whole time is just, could have went back and reprinted Evolving Skies like the whole time, and they didn't. And now it's the same thing really with this. Like, if they want, they could reprint some of these Scarlet and Violet sets, and like they've tried the Hammer 151. Man, 151 is just a resilient. It's resilient. I get knocked down, but I get back up again. That's all 151 keeps doing. It's resilient. It's a good set. It's got a good set identity. It's got the big three, Charizard, Blasty Boy, and the old flying, fire-breathing dragon, Mr. Charizard. There's a nice little flying electric chicken in the Zapdy Boy. There's a lot of good cards. There's the Spoon Man with the Alakazam. There's some good cards in 151. But there's some other stuff. It's like, but now that's the problem. It's like Pokemon could go back and start hammering these sets. Pokemon will start hammering Prismatic. They will probably start hammering Destin. It's like, but now as time keeps moving and we're moving into the mega sets, it's like for a long time, Surge and Sparks was like, hammer Surge and Sparks. Look at the demand for Surge and Sparks. Surge and Sparks might as well be vintage at this point. Nobody cares about Surge and Sparks anymore. Like, remember, everybody, like, couldn't get their hands on Surge and Sparks because prices went up and it was the death of the hobby and everybody wanted out. It's like, now a lot of people don't even want Surge and Sparks. Journey Together, God, Journey Together sure as hell, to me, doesn't feel like it needs a reprint. I didn't think Journey Together could handle a reprint, but it's like, do you go back and hammer Journey, hammer Surge and Sparks, hammer Prismatic, hammer Destined Rival, just print all these things to the ground, or focus on Mega Evolutions, which Mega Evolutions, do you know what? You remember how I told you that Destined Rivals is the most successful modern booster box in modern history? Do you know what? I think Mega Evolutions is going to take that fucking crown. And then you want to know what I think is going to happen after that? With the new Mega Charizard and the Mega Gengar set? Do you want to know who's going to put the new crown on? It's going to be that set. So Mega Evolution's going to dethrone Destined Rivals, and nobody's going to want Destined Rivals at that point. Destined Rivals will be vintage. And then the newer Mega set will come out, and then the new Mega Evolution set, which hasn't even technically been released yet because it doesn't come out till September, that will be vintage. Nobody will want that. And then, you know what? Pokemon, they can't go back and keep hammering these sets because there's just too much demand. I'm already telling you. I'm giving you this is the future of Pokemon. The next two sets are going to be the two most successful sets. Are you not entertained? Like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, what do you want? Johnny Bongo says, if the first Mega Sets looks this good, I know what's to come. We'll have everybody slobbering in FOMO and pack mode. Yeah. Tap says, I had to have the Sleepy Dragonite V after the recent Dragonite Postman short release. Whatever happened to, no, that's a... I was about to go on a tangent. I'm not going to do it. So Johnny says, whoever bought Paldea Evolved when it was at 100 and below is booming right now. You're looking at him. So Ice Smoke says, I pulled Sabrina's Gengar from a prismatic pack. This has to be fake. What? Sabrina's Gengar is banned, isn't it? Wait, what? Ice Smoke, if you pulled a Sabrina's Gengar from a prismatic pack, I don't know if you're trolling me with that, but yeah, you got a... And maybe you meant to write a different set. But if you pulled the Sabrina's Gengar out of prismatic, yes, unfortunately, it sounds like you might have got scammed, my friend. See, there's always something to look forward to, chat. There's always be people asking if the Sabrina's Gengar out of Prismatic should not be there. It should not be there. I smoke. Uh, Kelsey said that sounds like my son. He got me back into Pokemon, and he's a hustler. But that's the thing too. It's like now that you're back, it's like you can never fully leave. Uh, Namp says his Instagram followers is like 25% women, so there's definitely more women collectors out there. Yes, it's just me. I get it. Uh, let's see. Son of Mewtwo says can't stop, won't stop. PK exactly. Um, so Katie says, what does institutional money moving into the hobby mean? Without hearing of examples of this happening in other hobbies, I feel like this is a big hoax of a phase. Well, Katie, you need examples of institutional money like Fanatics Live created an entire platform. That is a big institution. That's Fanatics. They're, Michael Rubin and stuff owns Fanatics. That's a big thing. PWCC was acquired by Fanatics. Like PWCC is no longer a company because of Fanatics. eBay is going in really, really hard. Built out an eBay vault. PWCC, which is owned by Collectors, which Collectors is the definition of institutional money. Collectors came in and Collectors bought out the eBay vault, and now it's the PSA vault. But not only is Collector, there's like the Courtyard IO. The Courtyard IO now has its own app and shit, which now does, like the virtual pack ripping experience. There's a lot of like institutional money moving into all these areas where now a lot of stuff is moving into the digital aspect. Where do you think all that back end, for these courtyards, and now you got, the vending machines and stuff, but like, and then obviously PSA has just recently partnered with, I don't know, I keep getting the emails from PSA. PSA is now, the virtual rip experience, which is all institutional money, but then also now it's like the mystery pack experience, like PSA certified mystery packs, where you send the cards in and you can see a spreadsheet of what are in these mystery packs. They are packaged by a third party. Rare Candy, Leonhardt's platform. Do you think Leonhardt owns Rare Candy? You think Leonhardt? You think he owns Rare Candy? Do you think he put all the money to build out Rare Candy? Where do you think the money came from? What type of money do you think that was? You think that was Leonhardt just had a really successful YouTube career, or you think maybe some money came from other places for shit like that? I mean, you got eBay moving in to a bunch of stuff. There's constantly people hopping in. GameStop is moving into Pokemon hardcore. GameStop has changed their entire business model. They're now doing the mystery packs like with that's who they're doing it. GameStop is doing the mystery packs with PSA in store at GameStop. You don't think GameStop's institutional money at this point? I think they have like $4 or $5 billion billions. They have $4 or $5 billion on their spreadsheet. They're moving hard in, and it just started off. It's just, we're going to start moving into cards. You know what? Now we're going to start buying back graded cards. Now we're going to start accepting PSA submissions. Now we are partnering with PSA, and we are offering PSA mystery products in store. Nat Turner, the president and CEO of Collectors, who owns Wada Games, who owns PSA, where does he sit on? What board he sits on? The GameStop board. You think this is all institutional money? Not millions, not hundreds of millions, people that have billions of dollars on their spreadsheet. And do you want to know what is becoming one of the biggest money makers in the entire hobby? Is going to quickly become virtual pack opening experience. Fanatics already has it. Fanatics Insta Rips. I've sold them. Where do you think all this stuff comes from? What do you think that is? You think that is just me? You think I'm the one providing the cards? Where do you think? Who do you think is buying those cards for all these Insta rips and all these online mystery, all these mystery products? And then who do you think is who do you think financing all this stuff? You think I'm financing it? You think Moneybag Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles is financing it? No. Who do you think is financing it? Like where do you think the money's coming from? You didn't tell me what does institutional money moving into the hobby mean without hearing examples. They're all around you. Just look around. Look around. Look around. You got Walmart moving into a live opening experience. Walmart is starting to talk about this. Walmart started trying to poach streamers. GameStop is live on Whatnot. What do you mean you need examples of it? You don't see it? It's all over the place. I love you, Katie, but I think you see all this stuff. This is all in, I mean, Walmart. Maybe when people are thinking institutional money, maybe they're thinking BlackRock. Okay. If you're thinking like it's a BlackRock moving in, do you think maybe it's not on BlackRock's radar? Do you think BlackRock hasn't reached out to people in the Pokemon hobby and have gotten consultation calls with certain people? You don't think there's some people out there might have had consultation calls with some really, really big investment firms talking about Pokemon? You don't think that maybe some of this product is being sat on? Do you don't think there's a reason why a lot of packs are being bought in lots of 10,000? You don't think it's weird that it's hard that you have to fight for, say, raw 151 packs? Who do you think is buying all this stuff? It's all the same people. The names are out there. I gotta make friends with these people. I can't blast names out there. But it's there. The money's out there. But it's not a bad thing. It's institutional money. It's just real big dollar amounts. And you know what happens? The same way as me and you and everybody else and little Timmy out there. And little Timmy out there is making money and he's not making any bad buys. You know what? These other people are not making bad buys either. And they just keep acquiring and they keep buying. And you know what happens? They bought it all up from distribution and it's not there. And now what are people trying to do? There's something happening right now in this hobby that is, if you guys aren't seeing it, it's so apparent. We are in a lot of different phases of this hobby, but there is one word that starts with the letter C, and it's consolidation. If you want to mark 2025 as anything, 2025 is the consolidation phase of this hobby. There is a lot of stats, a lot of things consolidated in this hobby. I did it, not on a macro scale, but I consolidated on a micro scale. Dan consolidated on a micro scale by working with me. I work with Dan. Dan works with me. We've consolidated. What did we consolidate? We've consolidated our resources. And what were the two resources that me and Dan consolidated? We've consolidated Dan's money with my time. That was a consolidation of two people in this hobby. And it's not just me. Look around. There are a lot of people consolidating right now. And then we're just a little fish. Now look at the whales. Are the whales consolidated? Yeah, they are. Well, then you look at the really, really big people. And you say, are the really, really big people, well, PSA big? Yeah. Is the GameStop that has $4 billion on their spreadsheet in cash, are they big? Yeah. Are they consolidated? Yeah. You know? And it's just like, you look at all this stuff, and there's a lot going on. So, there are examples out there. Hopefully that can give you a little bit. See, luckily, I can't get in trouble. I'm an hour and 38 minutes into a PK rant. Nobody makes it an hour and 38 minutes into a PK rant, so I'm in the clear. I'm golden. I can say whatever I want at this point. This is not filtered PK. Listen, I'm very poor compared to a lot of people in this hobby, okay? Just put it that way. I am a very, very poor. And there's people I know that I think are very, very rich, and they are very, very poor in comparison to a lot of people. Like, I can't do a lot of this stuff. All right. All right, Joseph says, keep it going. Best objective comment and creativity, best content YouTuber. Always new every Thursday. Real thoughts on the market. Mr. Joseph, I appreciate the kind thoughts. Wow, we got old Big Steve Kells. Good to see you, buddy. Said, a long time no see, PK. Glad to catch one of these for the first time in forever. Been rehabbing my knees in a facility because they damn near exploded back in January. Damn, man. Sorry to hear that. Been relearning to walk. Dude, Big Steve, sorry to hear that you're going through stuff, man, but keep fighting the healthy fight, man, and at least you're relearning. Hopefully, everything works out for you. I didn't know you were going through a lot of stuff, man, but hope everything works out for you. Kevin Clare says, yeah, welcome to everybody's life right now. Kevin Clare says, I can't bring myself to sell anything because it just keeps going up. That's it. It's a greater, yeah. It's also, that's a scary thing. I'm definitely there too. I can't bring myself to sell stuff. And it's like, I'll give you a perfect example. PK, you just said you can't bring yourself to sell something. I've been talking about this forever now with Evolving Skies. What am I have a bunch of Evolving Skies. What are you doing with it? Nothing. It's like, why? It's like, I can't bring myself to sell it. I think Evolving Skies is going to continue to go up. I think it's going to continue to perform well, and I think it's going to get to a price point where I will never be able to justify buying back into it. That's it. That's it. Let's see. So, Prey says I didn't know any of that stuff either. I do now. I just bought a secret rare Charmeleon from Team Rocket Returns just because Team Rocket. So, Prey, you said you bought the secret rare Charmeleon. Do you know that it's the box topper? Just like Old Journey Together has a box topper, Mega Evolutions has a box topper with the new Bulbasaur for the new set. Did you know the Charmeleon is a box topper? But if you didn't know and you just bought it because you like it, that's fine, buddy. As long as you like it, that is all that matters. Kevin Clare says, people that bought those 2020 Zards are still in the red. Which ones? Not first edition Zards. I feel like first edition Zards are going up right now. Son of Mewtwo says, late night PK is back, baby. We are back. We never left, though, Son of Mewtwo. We never left. Oh, man, this is moving on to one of the longer PK lives. I don't even think I'm that far through the chat. Matt says, the 151 UPC is such a better opening experience and more packs. The best 151 product. I'm not doing this. So Alex Nam says, I mean, if they don't know any better, we can't be mean to them, PK. Alex says, I sold the 151 PC last week for $400. Bought 2 cases when they were all over the shelves for $600 total. So 2 cases for $600. So 8 UPCs for $60. Yeah, good deal, man. Hey, like I said, nobody ever gone broke taking profits. Kevin Clare says, why is Steam Siege ETBs 2.4K? I don't even know if that number is correct, Kevin Clare, but if it is, I'm going to find my Steam Siege ETB. So Matt says, yeah, funny you say that. I bought at 120 with the free Squirtle promo. Now I just sold the promos for $100, and they cost me 20 each. Those days are great. If you go back, I see, you got to go back. Look for the thumbnail with the Squirtle promo in it. And in that video, I said, I think that this is interesting. That's all I kept saying in that. I was like, I think that this Pokemon Center stamped Squirtle promo is going to do big things in the future. We got Last Pack Magic. I appreciate it, buddy, with the super chat. He said, I really can make it to your lives, but I always listen to the recording the next day. I hope you do these lives forever. Last Pack Magic. I got no plans to stop anytime soon, my friend. I do appreciate the super chat, though. And I do appreciate the kind words. Last Pack Magic. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. Kevin Clare says, PK, have you... Wait, hold on. First, Alex says, Evolving Skies boxes are like 2,300 now. Team Up is 9K. No reason why Evolving Skies won't go to that. Yeah, I mean, sounds good to me. Alex, I'm not selling my Evolving Skies. So yes, I think that is possible. Pokemage says, everything before Death's Arrivals is vintage, so we're all good. Exactly. Kevin Clare says, PK, have you ever argued with ChatGPT that Pokemon won't ever go down and will just keep going up? No. I'm not a good typer. I'm a talker. I'm not a typer. I don't know if I'm dyslexic or what. So Celestial TCG, it said I'm calling it now. PK at 3, the 3.5K by end of the year for Evolving Skies box. Yeah. All right. Celestial TCG. I like it. I don't think that is a bad price right there. Let's see. Yeah, Pricey Collectible says, imagine what the next boom will be like for the 35th anniversary. Imagine what the 50th anniversary will be like. What is 50th anniversary? Less than double where we've already been? I don't know if we could constantly keep having money enter into the hobby, because every set that's released, there's more and more money that has to be influxed into the hobby. But you know what? Money's cheap. Federal Reserve prints money. Pokemon prints money. Who knows? Anything could happen. I tell you what, I think it's going to keep happening. That's why it's the title of this video. That's why the number one word is I'm documenting my future bankruptcy. And that's why it says my future, not my present. This is a documentary of my future. If you guys are mad that you think this is clickbaity, it's not. Just read the damn title. Documenting my future, as in not the present, not the past, but my future. This is my future bankruptcy and demise from Pokemon Investment, because I agree with all these statements. Skippy says, poker analogy. Heck yeah. Just got back from a 4-day binger in Vegas. Nice. Grooves Collect says, what are your grail purchases you would like to make? What are you collecting? So my grail purchase that I'm probably just never going to make at this point would be a Crystal Charizard in a PSA 10. Hollow Crystal Charizard. Had my opportunities. I'm not going to keep rehashing it, but yeah. At Denver CollectorCon with Jake Pokenomics in 2021. I walked up to his table. He had it stickered for 13 grand. I offered him 9 grand cash for it. Sales were right around like the 9 or 10 grand. And Jake says, I can't do 9. He said the best I could do was 11,000. I said, nah. I said, I'm not going to pay full market. Because at the time, it was about full market for the Crystals Charizard at 11,000. I wanted it to be me. I wanted to get it for 9 grand, you know? Because then I was like, hey, worst case scenario, if it drops, I'll still be good. But you want to know what? I passed on it at 11 with Jake. Passed on it at 9 a little bit before that. Passed on it at 8 before then. I passed on it when the first sale was ever 5 grand. Passed on it when it was 4 grand. And you know what? Probably never get it, because I passed on it at all those. Do you think I want to buy it now? What is that Crystal Hollow Zard from Skyridge now? So yeah. Greens Collection, you said, what are your grail purchases you would like to make? That is one of them, because you know what? I am completing a Skyridge Master set in PSA 9 or 10, and there's 144 cards in the set. Each card comes in both regular and reverse hollow, so that's 288 cards. There's 32 hollows, H1 through H32, so that's another 32 cards. And then there are 5 crystals, and each one of those crystals comes in both reverse hollow and hollow, so that adds 10 right there. More. There's a lot. There's a lot of cards. And probably might never be able to collect it or complete it, because a couple of those cards are too expensive. So Elvis says Rusty the GOAT. Really, he is the GOAT. Jimmy Blake. Couldn't put it any better. He said, every Thursday, old man yells at cloud. I was once a young buck, Jimmy, and then, you know what? The one person that's undefeated, Father Time, he just kept coming after me. And just going to be a shit. Oh, be fun to look if I keep doing this for like 20 more years. I look back at my original videos and this young, handsome, charming, well-endowed PK just making videos, and then I'll be just an old, crusty man 20 years from now. Nam90 says, when I think of greed, I quickly think of the Orange Lantern Oath. What's mine is mine, and mine is mine, and mine is mine, and mine is not yours. Nam90, I like that one. Twin Turbo USC says, hope I'm around for Pokemon 50th celebrations. Kid will bring in Grandpa some packs to rip. Yes. I wonder what they'll write on my tombstone. Financially ruined. That's what they're going to write. Exactly. Look at that. Son of a Merc, hitting with the hard hitting conversations. The true grails are the friends we made along the way. Exactly. Elvis says, I think people take breaks from the hobby, skip sets, or go months absent and then come back. But yeah, that is, I could see that, where people could definitely take breaks. And I feel like the average person stays around forever. Or maybe it could be. I do feel like that's possible. And like, if they're taking breaks, that is not leaving forever. I think that is the problem with like what I have with what Rudy says is when he says most people are gone after 6 months. I don't think that, because I feel like when he says that, it almost sounds like they're gone forever. And I don't, first of all, I don't believe in the word forever. And I definitely do not believe that when people leave the hobby, they are gone forever. My lord says the golden age of TV ended for me when um, the Fonz jumped the shark. What? My lord, how old are you? No, he said the golden age of TV ended for me with Seinfeld. Nothing has ever topped it for him. All right. Krabby Card says, question, how many cards, or how many cards? How many companies do you trust more than Pokemon for the next 20 years? I don't know. Yeah, that would take some thought. Pokeplush says, Phantasmal with the Gengar and Charizard in it. That'll be 1K boost. All right, it's not going to be a 1K booster box. Most fastest gainer ever in history. It's not. Or I don't. So it will be 1K. You got to give me a timeline though. If you mean at release, it will not be a 1K box at release. But I can see that. So Pokeplush says, Evolving Sky is greater than Destined Rivals. All right, sorry. Evolving Sky is greater than Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals better than Phantasmal. Will be a top 3 box of all time. You're going to put Destined Rivals Pokeplush. What? What kind of... No. Best boxes. Skyridge is number 1. Base set, first edition, number 2. Aquapolis, number 3. Expedition, number 4. EX Team Rocket Returns, number 5. Deoxys, number 6. Crystal Guardians, number 7. Harlem Phantoms, number 8. Power Keepers, 9. Gym Challenge, first edition, 10. Those are my top 10. Get the fuck out of here with Evolving Skies and Destined Rivals being in your top 3 all time, and especially Phantasmal. What kind of craziness is that? Amber says, sports cards in the Junk Wax era didn't have different rarities for the most part, so millions and millions of commons, also aka modern yeah, also true. There were some very, very few numbered cards. Pokeplush says, people leaving the crypto and stocks tops going into other sets like Pokemon. I've heard that forever, and then I watched as Bitcoin hit, whatever, 120,000. So I don't think everybody's leaving crypto if you can have it go up to 120. Ben says, hey PK, can you tell your mate Nate to open up international? You get in a, I think they're going to be putting a UK, not a UK hub. I think they are not going to do, he talked about, I think Germany or something is going to start accepting cards. We'll pay the tariff. What's the actual issue with the, can you shed some light? Yeah, Ben. So for you, I wouldn't be submitting cards through. So you keep saying mate. Ben, are you from Australia? Why are you just send your cards to Japan, man? You know, Japan has a grading hub. Get yourself a nice little friend in Japan. Submit all your cards through the PSA out of Japan. Work your way through the tariffs that way. Keep saying mate. So mate makes me believe Australia. Yeah. If you're in Australia, send your cards to get graded in Japan. Don't worry about English, man. You don't have to worry about tariffs then. Cash Flyer says, I'm rolling some of the money into other collectibles, but still bullish on my Pokemon. Hey, you don't gotta go all in Pokemon. You don't gotta be a D-Gen like the rest of us. That's Pack Magic. I appreciate it. He said you can use your voice in Chat GPT. Oh, then I would really like to yell at Chat GPT then. Pokebondo. This is a very true statement. He said, price memory is tough to overcome when cards skyrocket. Bingo. I remember the first day you talked about the Crystal Zard with Jake. Yeah, that was a long time ago. My lord says, my great-grandfather told me about the shark being jumped. Price says, PK, the human Pokepedia. Breaking Bad says, he PK, keep up the great content. Love getting your thoughts on everything in this hobby. Genuine and great insight. With that said, Breaking Bad, First of all, awesome name. Breaking Bad, great show, by the way. Breaking Bad, appreciate this kind thoughts. Every single person that did join this live, I don't know how you did it. If any of you guys made it to the end of the video, do not put a comment. Keep that to yourself. That is embarrassing. With that said, I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're not new, hit the like button. If not, I don't like you. Go away. As always, love each and every one of you guys. Seriously. And as always, I will catch you on the next video. And next week, Thursday, we will still have our live. And I'll be live. YouTube live. Thursday night live from Charlotte Collecticon with a bunch of D-Gens. Do not miss out on that. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Yep.